pushing me up to the top.
Hey, welcome to Live with Jen and Toyia. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have some amazing guests who we will be talking to. We have Miss Kay Johnson of Inspired Bosses, Mr. Craig Attaway, who is an author of How I Became an Attaway. It's a memoir. So, well, Jen is out today. Definitely missing her. Thank you all so much for the support of Live with Jen and Toyia. We are still taking interviews. So if you have events or if you have a new book, business, organization that you want to talk about, that you want to share your journey, definitely reach out to us. You can send us an email at toyathrivespr@gmail.com. So let's go ahead and hop into today's show. Okay. Well, we are going to go ahead and start with Miss Kay Johnson from Inspired Bosses. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I won't complain, and I can't complain.
I know. Look, I understand that. Look, I'm loving your hair.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. So you are the owner of Inspired Bosses. I want to play if a little bit of your speaker reel. As I was listening to it, I was just so impressed. I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is so true. Like every girl should hear this. So I'm going to play this.
Does this fear even qualify to be a fear in my life? Are these fears, worries, anxieties, concerns, are they going to be validated by me? Are they validated by other people? Right? And I'm not afraid. So let me show you. Here's my display of God confidence. Here's my display, my manifestation of what God has been doing behind the scenes, behind the curtain. No matter how many times I wanted to not wear the crown. No matter how many times I didn't want to hold my position. He said, it's yours. I called you royalty. I brought you to this place. And I'm putting you in position. And I'm positioning you for more. And I'm positioning you for greatness. And I'm positioning you for influence. And I'm positioning you for moments. And you cannot let moments pass you by. And you cannot let moments let you just be what they are. You have to find the gift in the moment. What is your moment?
Wow. When you said position, I was like, oh my gosh, like we get in that position and sometimes we don't want to stay in that position. And it's like, I'm here. But like you said, it's that moment and finding the gift in that moment. So, how did you come up with Inspired Bosses? I love the name.
Oh my goodness. Inspired Bosses. Well, it started out role model actually, but I changed it because it was something when I thought about what I wanted or what I would have wanted more of growing up. I wanted to have a role model that was not just someone on TV, not someone far away, but someone that I could literally hold hands with. Yeah. And so when I thought about that, that's what I started doing. But when I created Inspired Bosses, I said, this is something that's going to be bigger and better, and it's going to encompass all of the things that I want to do, that I've experienced, and that I want to give back to other girls. And so Bosses actually stands for Built on Servant Success, Elevating Standards.
Oh, I love that.
When you think about inspire and speaking, right? People like motivational speaker, but I'm not a motivational speaker. I want to make that very clear. You can either call me inspirational or transformational because inspire means to stir up something that's already inside of you, a spirit that already lives inside of you. I don't want to motivate you to do something that you don't want to do or don't have in you. I want to inspire and stir up, ignite what's already inside of young women.
I love that. I feel like we have so much in common already. I have a nonprofit as well. It's called I Am Beautiful Movement. And I started it because I wanted girls to be able to do things that I wanted to do when I was growing up. And I think of stuff that maybe I wanted to do or my daughter wanted to do and didn't get to do. So I create that experience or that avenue for that girl. So when you were sitting there saying, I was like, oh my gosh, she's in my head. Like, I love it. So I love anything that inspires and supports girls. As I was reading, you do pageant coaching as well.
Yeah. So that's something I'm adding to the list and like taking some other things away that I was doing because recently I was named top 5 finalist in the Miss Tennessee Scholarship Competition.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've been doing pageants for the past 10 years. So that was the local that afforded me the opportunity to be on the Miss Tennessee stage was Miss Mylan, Crown and Scepter. So that would have been my 4th title. So if I were to win Miss Tennessee, that would be my 5th, and then you would go to Miss America, that would be my 6th. So I've been doing it for a while, and it's afforded me to have scholarships to go to college. Just polished in so many areas. So now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna help other girls get those scholarships, but also polish them in other ways that they may not know that pageantry can do for them.
Yes. And when you talk about pageantry, you do talk about the position, the poise. And that's missing in a lot of our young girls and in our youth today. So I'm so excited that you are stepping in to fill that gap. So you help them start businesses by the age of 18.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So what are as far as helping them start business, what are some of the businesses that the girls are wanting to start or have already started?
So just like pageant coaching, it's something that I added on as well because I saw that girls would look at me and be like, okay, but what about entrepreneurship? Can you teach us more about entrepreneurship? And so I think in 2020 was the last time I really worked with some girls in entrepreneurship. And we just kind of talked about the basics. They were in middle school. And so now that I'm adding that back, sometimes you get away from it. Like you just talked about your position and you get away from it. So I'm just going to be completely transparent that I got away from what people were asking me for. And so now I'm excited to position myself under what God is telling me to do in alignment.
Yes.
And get back to that space. I had a mom reach out to me and say, hey, my daughter, I don't really know what she wants to start, but I know she wants to be in business. Can you help her out? Right. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, you need to get back to it because why did you leave it alone in the first place? Why did you leave it alone?
Yeah.
I think some of the girls were interested in like fashion type of businesses. So having their own clothes and hats and jewelry and those things of that nature. And so I'm really excited to see what it will turn out to be as I have added this back to my repertoire.
Like, I'm excited for you because it is so needed. And our youth, they are so creative. And then like just the things that they have access to that we didn't have access to growing up. And, to be able to help them make that dream come true is amazing. So what does supernatural confidence mean to you?
Okay, I'm going to have you repeat after me because you asked, right?
Okay.
I
am
the
vibe.
When you say that, that means you are now proclaiming yourself to be a person who disrupts norms by walking in supernatural confidence.
I love that. I am the vibe.
Yes, that's 2 E's on V, though. 2 E's, please, on V.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's about supernatural confidence. It's not just, naturally she's confident, naturally she's gifted. But when you throw that super on it, it means you've stepped into whatever your belief may be when it comes to God or supreme or higher power. You stepped into that type of confidence, meaning that no matter what failures you come across, no matter what successes you come across, you are still super because you stepped into it and have allowed yourself to accept your difference. I have girls that come to me and say, I know I don't fit in the crowd. I have trouble fitting in with the crowd. Okay, well, baby girl, you got to step into your supernatural confidence.
Exactly.
It's hard. It's really hard. I
Mm-hmm.
talk about self-acceptance in my book, but that's what I think about when I think about supernatural confidence is not being swayed, or if you are swayed, allowing yourself to say, hey, I'm still who I am because God said I'm who I am. My supreme power said I am who I am, and I believe that.
Yes. And it's all about the belief and believing in yourself and who you are. So, how has your journey been through entrepreneurship?
Oh my gosh, it's been a crazy journey, but I love it so much because I'm so inspired to and so curious, really.
Mhm.
I'm really curious to see what it's gonna look like at the end because I have this huge vision, but
Yes.
it's like it's tiny right now and it's starting off small, maybe smaller than what other people think. It's big to me, but it's small to other
Mhm.
people. So
Yeah.
really my journey started in network marketing when I MLM, y'all, MLM. But
Look, I think we've all done that.
I love it because the particular MLM or network marketing company I was with, they were very, very heavy on professional and personal development. We would
Okay.
listen to recordings about 45 minutes a day, read 30 minutes every day. And so I really trained myself to listen to more positivity, more. I mean, you have stories of these people who would like get hurt and they'd be in their 60s or 70s, break something, and then a week later they'd be back up and like acting like nothing ever happened to their body. And when you
Right.
think about people who do that, that was inspiring to me. And so I kind of broke away from the network marketing because I said, I think there's more for me than
Mhm.
just building a company within a company. You know how they break it down for you.
Yeah.
But I've learned that as my business grows or as I'm designing anything, it's designing me back. So I'm continuing to grow. And I think right now, the biggest lesson I'm learning is grace.
Mhm.
Grace with people, grace with myself, and
Yes.
grace in business.
That is so true. You have to give yourself grace. My manager, that's one of her words that she always uses when we start a new project or something new. She's like, we have to remember to give people grace. And I've never worked for anybody that would say that. And I was just like,
Mm.
wow, like and it makes you think, like, okay, I do need to give them grace because, you want somebody to give you grace. So I definitely love that. So how can people connect and follow you?
Yes, yes, yes. On the screen here, you say Inspire Bosses. If you type Inspire Bosses on Google, you should find my Instagram. You should find the Facebook. And also, you should find the website, inspirebosses.com. If you want to connect with me on, I guess, a more personal brand level, you can type in Self Care Shiro on Instagram and
Okay.
Self Care Shiro on LinkedIn. Now, I prefer you connect with me. If you're a business person, connect with me on LinkedIn. Okay.
Yes.
I prefer that. And you can just
Yes.
type in my first and last name, Kay Johnson, on LinkedIn. And
Okay.
Inspire Bosses everywhere else on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And then I typically tag my personal brand in most of my posts if I can on
Okay.
Facebook as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to continue following you um, and supporting you. Definitely would love to collaborate on some things. So, yeah, keep up the amazing work and congratulations on Inspired Bosses and everything that you have and everything that you touch. May it continue to be blessed and prosperous.
Thank you so much. And I want to invite any young women or mothers who are looking for their daughters to have a coach or a mentor. I'm opening up some spots for October, the fall and winter season. So if you go to inspirebosses.com or if you reach out to me on any of those platforms, we can talk more about getting your daughters some mentorship and coaching if that's what you want. And I thank you so much for having me on your
Oh,
platform. I'm
you're
so excited to
welcome.
collaborate. The thought of it just makes
I
my
know. So with the is this virtual or in person or both? If the girls
Depending on where the young lady may be, it will
so let
kind of
everybody know where
decide.
you are. Let everybody
I reside in Humboldt, Tennessee,
okay.
right between Memphis and Nashville, Jackson, Tennessee area. We'll do most everything virtual, and if somebody suggests or prefer to do something in person, we can make it happen.
Okay. All right.
Well, West Tennessee, everybody.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will be talking to you soon.
Thank you, Toyia.
Bye, Kay.
Peace.
Wow. So you heard that. Follow Kay Johnson on Instagram, LinkedIn, all social media platforms at Inspired Bosses or Kay Johnson. So, and if you have any young ladies that want to need a mentor, want to start a business, definitely reach out to her for that support and that guidance. So we are going to take a quick ad break, and then we will be right back with our next guest, Mr. Craig Attaway. Welcome back to Live with Jen and Toyia. We have our next guest, Mr. Craig Attaway. He is the author of How I Became an Attaway. So without further ado, hello, Mr. Craig. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. So let's talk about your new book that you have out called How I Became an Attaway.
Yes, ma'am.
Trace back family members on your mother's side and your father's side. So
yes.
How did this come about with you wanting to write about your family?
Well, just like many Black Americans, I had no idea that I didn't know what I didn't know about my family. Just out of the clear blue sky one day, my father and I received a book. It just fell from the sky. It was called The World Book of Attaways, and it had Attaways listed throughout the whole world. And I had no idea that there were Attaways other than my family. It was in 1991 when we received that, and to see my name in the book, and my father's name in the book, and uncles' names in the book, along with people that I've never even met, never heard of in other countries. It was life changing. It sent me on a quest to find as much as I could about my family. It was a godsend. It really was. It changed my life.
I can imagine. So how long was this process? Because when you say from all over, like how long did it take you to do this book and to gather all that information?
Well, long story short, I got discouraged quite a few times because I'm a novice genealogist. I'm not a professional, and I ran into several roadblocks along the way. I had start and stop. It was like when I stopped, I was letting my ancestors down, and I could feel a tug every once in a while. And they would talk to me in a way that grandparents talk to the grandkids. Boy, you know you should get up and go do this. You know you should get up and go do that. So to answer your question, it was a 29-year quest, 29-year investigative work.
29 years. Oh my goodness. And some of us, we give up after 6 months, a year, or 5 years.
Yes.
29 years. Wow.
Yes.
Hear that?
Yes.
That is like the definition of not giving up on anything. Yeah, you're going to have some bumps and bruises and some times that you don't want to move forward or you don't want to do it. But like you said, you had the ancestors, pushing you and saying, hey, this has to be done. So how has this affected your family now?
My family now, something that I've learned is family history is not everyone's thing. It's really my thing. It's more so my thing. But when the family is together and I speak about it, then you can see those that are really interested are the much older and the much younger. The much older and the much younger, they soak it up they soak it up with a sponge.
Yeah.
But the people of my generation, they have very little interest, and they want to leave dirty laundry, dirty linen in the past. They don't feel the need to drudge up the old history. But the thing that they're missing is that the history is what it is,
Yeah.
good or whatever. It's our history. It's how we came to be. A lot of times, they have no idea how we got the name that we have.
Mm-hmm.
They have no idea why we reside where we reside or where we grew up. They have no idea why we got there. They have no idea what our people went through. They just have no clue, and they're just like I was before I was enlightened. I didn't know what I didn't know.
Exactly. So I know ancestry.com is a popular
Yes.
outlet that people use. Did you use that to like start I know you said the book was dropped, in 91 with you, but
Yes.
did you use ancestry.com to help as well?
Yeah. I actually took 3 different DNA tests because I'm a skeptic by nature. I don't just believe the first thing right off the bat. The first test, ancestry.com, of course, I use that. The second one was africanancestry.com to have a little bit more detail and confirmation.
Um,
The third one was 23andMe.
it was what now? I'm sorry.
23andMe.
Oh, okay. Okay. So how can people purchase this book?
I'm sorry, your volume was. I just barely hear you.
How can people
I can't
purchase?
hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I'm sold online everywhere books are sold. Amazon.com, Booksamedian.com, Amazon.com, even Walmart.com.
Okay. And they can get it in hardback and as an ebook as well, correct?
It's in hardcover already, but it can also purchase in ebook.
Okay. So how I know the journey was a long journey. Has it made you look at life any different since you've completed this book?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. To know what my people went through, to have documentary record of what my people went through before I got here and before my grandparents got here, I was already proud to be Black, but it made me even more proud to be Black, to know what my own people went through.
Right. So what was the most interesting fact that you found out about your family, the Attaways, during this research?
First thing right off the bat is to find the African tribe that I share DNA with was a revelation. I share DNA with the Attaway tribe living in Ghana today, and I can't describe how beautiful that was. How it's really, I don't have the words to describe how that felt, to know the tribe that I come from, through my father's bloodline, what tribe I come from. It's indescribable.
Wow, I can imagine. So when your family came to America, where did they establish officially? Because I know everyone ends up branching out, but where was the establishment? Were you able to find out that as well?
Georgia.
Okay.
Yes, they started out in Louisiana, and that's traceable through the religion that's still there today. The religion, the primary religion was voodoo, and my family brought voodoo to Louisiana, and voodoo is still there today. But once they were bought and sold, they were bought and sold many times.
Mhm.
Went to Georgia and slowly were brought back here to Texas. The final slave master to own was Augustus Attaway, Concord, Texas. I believe that's in Rusk County, right outside of Henderson, Texas.
Yeah, you said
Just prior to emancipation, that's where we were.
Rusk County. That's the county I live in. So
Really?
yes, yeah. So when you said Concord, I was like, oh,
Your
that's
volume,
minutes from me. So yeah.
your volume was way down.
Oh, okay. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can just barely hear you.
Okay. Yeah, that's
But let's
about
continue.
yeah, that's about 30 minutes from where I reside. So definitely familiar with that area. So how can people follow you and reach out and connect with you?
Well, I'm one of the last people to be on social media. The only social media that I have is Facebook. People can
Okay.
follow me on Facebook.
Okay. And that's under Craig Attaway?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey with us. So purchase How I Became an Attaway on Amazon.com via an ebook or hardback copy,
Right.
and support this author and his family and everything that he has going on right now. Are there any upcoming events regarding the book or anything that you would like to share?
Well, yes. Well, I have something in the works, but not regarding this book. I have my very first coloring book for children in the works, and I'm very proud of that. It's a story about a little black girl. Well, it's not a little black girl. She's a high school senior, and she steals the show. It's about neighborhood kids, little black kids having fun in their own neighborhood, having fun outside. It's so sad now that kids no longer go outside. They play video games and they have carpal tunnel syndrome because they don't go outside and play.
Exactly.
And a lot of kids, they have vitamin D deficiency due to a lack of sunshine on their skin. We didn't have anything like that. We were outside all the time. So that's what it's about. The story is based in the late 70s when we had afros and bell bottoms.
Yes, I just had this conversation with some friends. We were talking about how kids don't ride bicycles anymore. They don't, go outside. We stayed outside from sun up to sundown, especially.
That's exactly right. Yes, we were. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's exciting. So, what is the name of the book? The coloring
It's
book?
called Cassidy and the Dunking Contest.
Okay. All right. Well,
Cassidy and the Dunking Contest. It'll be here soon.
Okay. All righty. Well, y'all heard
I'm
that.
really looking forward to it. This will the coloring book will actually be my third book. The very first one was actually a play. It was called What Can a Pot Say About a Kettle? And my grandmother used to ask me that question. It was a spinoff on The Pot Can't Call the Kettle Black. It was my grandmother was a very harsh lady, but she loved us very much. And when she asked me that question, that was her way of saying, you're talking too much about someone else. You should really sit down and be quiet. So What Can a Pot Say About a Kettle was my very first one. It's also on Amazon.com, rosedogbookstore.com, and everywhere else books are sold online.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to reading your book and just seeing where you go after the coloring book and this book, because I know people are going to want to talk to you, interview you, and just support you, because this is awesome. And congratulations.
Thank you so very much for having me.
You're welcome. And you have a great evening.
You too. Thank you very much. Please let me know when this airs.
We sure will.
Take care. Have a good night.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow. So I love history. This is amazing. The book is called How I Became an Attaway. And the author, his name is Craig Attaway. So definitely get on Amazon.com and purchase this book either through an ebook or hardback. And even if you want to know more about your history, there's several platforms out there. I don't want to start naming them or miss something or misname one. But if you Google how to start to research your history, you can definitely do that. Like he was saying that his family originated from Ghana. It's a tribe in Ghana. They're still today. So if we trace back, man, there's no telling what we will find. So thank you so much for joining Live with Jen and Toyia today. We will see you next week.
To push myself to victory.